Hello, everybody. Welcome to Adventures in Eurorack with me, Gaz Williams. Very pleased for you to join. Very pleased for you to be joining me. Thank you. I got it there. I got there. Yes. So, Adventures in Eurorack. I'm just about approaching the 1 year, marker now, where I started this whole thing, and I think interestingly, tonight's show is going to be, for me, something quite special. I've been looking forward to this one for a while now. I'll explain about why we've been waiting for this in a moment. But tonight's show is going to be featuring the CVilization from Yuhi. Now, Yuhi are one of the leading companies in software synthesizers. I'm sure most of you will know them, but Hans Zimmer, major user of Yuhi plugins. In fact, Zebra 2, lots of the sound design in his big blockbuster movies is done almost entirely in Zebra. Well, I say almost entirely. I don't know a huge amount about this, but my good friend Mr. Howard Scar, he does lots of the sound design for Yuhi. So and I was really interested when I heard that they were going to make a module. And I think when I first heard about it, I didn't really understand sort of the modular thing as much as I sort of slightly understand it now. However, CVilization is possibly my favorite, or one of my absolute favorite modules. Because in a way it does things that I've been wanting all along, which is a way of just kind of centralizing the workflow. And I'll explain it as I go along tonight. But there's 4 main modes in CVilization, but tonight we're only going to be looking at mode 1. I plan to return to each of the 4 modes as kind of separate adventures, such is the scope of this device. I have here the really nice little cheat sheet that accompanies CVilization, but I know my way around it now, because what you notice straight away with CVilization is that there's no screen on there. There's no way of indicating anything other than by colors. And this is a really beautiful to use module, because the visual language, once you learn how to navigate it, it really does give you lots of information. Now, what on earth is it? And what is this mode 1? Well, before I delve in, I will say one thing. Anyone who caught last week's show, Random Drums, I just bought a module which was a Delptronics little drummer boy, a little analog drum module, and I couldn't get it working on the show. It does in fact work perfectly, and the reason it didn't work was, yes, I think somebody in the chat room had mentioned that it needed specifically 5 volts, and the walled-off KB37 does not supply 5 volts. However, this one now does, and this is kind of partly why we've been waiting for this. I've been teasing about having a really powerful module, not saying which one it was. Well, it was this one all along, and this one needs 5 volts. So I got the not my volts. What am I saying? I got the Volt from Mutable Instruments, which is a very small little thing. I was going to show it, but it's all plugged in to the bus board inside the KB37. So it's a small little thing, about so big. So it uses up one of the sockets on the bus for the walled off. And then that means that side, anything plugged into that side that needs 5 volts can get it. So hence the CVilization. Oh, I'm frozen, am I? Okay. Now, come back. What a shame. Back. Okay, thank you. I checking in with the chat room now. I was frozen. Okay, I don't know. Right, let's start again. Damn. Okay, yeah, I'm now seeing my stream. I couldn't see it before. Yes. Yeah, working. Thank you. What a drag. I don't know why that is. How frustrating. Okay. Anyway. Yes, we're back. Thank you so much. So I think maybe you could hear me, so I won't go over the stuff I was mentioning again, but I will point out that the CVilization then, it doesn't have any screens and it uses these LED lights in order to tell you what's going on. Now, mode 1 we're using is called, well, it's called the Matrix Mixer, and what a fabulous bit of ingenuity this is. Okay, now let me just enable everything. I'll just keep my sound off for the time being. Okay, so you've got 4 inputs and you've got 4 outputs. And the way it works is super simple. Now, they could be audio inputs or CV inputs. We're going to be dealing with CV tonight. But let's just, for argument's sake, imagine we've got 4 sound sources coming in. In fact, I could imagine using my 3 Moog semi-modulars and maybe the output of the little doper that I have on this KV37, all coming in, audio inputs into 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then these 4 could be destinations. We could be having it go into the Z verb. We could be having it go into the eventide. We could be having it go into the disting, and then we could have it just a dry out, for instance. So it could be used like that, just like a mixer. And then it's simple. You go. I pick, in this case, channel 1, which I was just assume was my Moog, and then I can go. I want to send a bit of it to the delay. I want to send a bit of it to the reverb. I want to send a little bit of it to the granulator in the disting, and I want to send some of the dry signal out. And then I go to my next. My in this case would be the subharmonicon, and I choose. So I've got like 4 configurable sends. Now we can see as I'm turning them, they are illuminating in various colors. So like yellow being channel 1, green channel 2, blue, and purple. So you can tell by the color intensity how strong, how much you've got of a signal routing through there. But there's a few cool things. When you're operating a single control, all of the other ones will become the control that you're doing, just to indicate what's going on. So if your hand is blocking the view, which mine is here, then at least it means that you probably can see one of these. But there's this language, and I really appreciate stuff like this. This visual language. If I was to turn it all the way until it's maximum, you'll see them flash. Yeah, you'll see them. They do a little flash, which tells you you've reached a maximum. Similarly, if I take it down, you can see the intensity going down, taking it down to 0. But when you actually hit an actual 0 point, it'll do a little red flash. Oh, yeah, I think you can see that, meaning we're at absolute 0. Now, these values also can be inverted. And when they're inverted, they kind of go into a red color like that. With the same sort of language, it'll vibrate. They'll just flash when you reach the end there. And then let's bring that back to the center. So the inputs and the outputs both work in the same way as that. I think it's such a clever way. Channel 1, you can see that the various intensities. In fact, let's make some negative. Oh no, we wouldn't do negative with an audio mixer, but let's just, you can see that at a glance, probably more so in reality than what the cameras may be accentuating, but you can tell, like I can go here, nothing go into 1, more go into 2, etc. 3, nothing go into 4, 4, nothing at all patched. So the one that's flashing or breathing in he's kind of manual talk, when you push that one, it always takes you back to like the kind of home page, which is this home page area. Long press on the left hand side will take you to a configuration window. Long press on the right hand side will take you to another configuration window. So Again, all color coded. Now, the flashing one, you hit it, takes you back to the home. Okay, I just wanted to go over a little bit of that first. So to get the idea of this kind of navigation. Now, I pick my input, I can choose how much it's going out of the different outputs, or alternatively, you know, say I've got like number 2 feed in my Z verb, I can pick my reverb and choose, and I can see how many. Actually, I pick the reverb and I can see that I've got 1, 2 and 3 and nothing from 4 routed to it. So you've got 2 views essentially of the same thing. How much 1 is routed to them, or how much, you know, 1 is receiving, or how much 2 is receiving, etc. Yeah, and I can just sort of by just touching on the different ones, I can go to 1. That's what 1 is routed to. I can go, that's what's routed to 1. Does that make sense? I think it makes beautiful sense. I think it's a really clever way of setting up essentially 4 ins and 4 outs and multiple values going to each. Right. So what are we going to do with it tonight? Well, I'm so excited about this. I really think this is the bee's knees. What I've got is I've got 4 sound sources. I've got a disting, which is just set up to be an oscillator. I've got the hysteria, again, another oscillator from Dreadbox. And I've got Platts from Mutable Instruments acting as another oscillator. And I've got the miniature voice from Dopefer, the A1116. So that's our 4 voices. Those are routed into the little mixer. And then I've got my effect sends set up as I've had for the past few weeks, using my stereo pan here. If it's panned left, it's coming out dry. If you pan it right, it goes into the eventide and then out and into the reverb and then back. Waiting in the wings is a disting. It's currently not being used in this patch, but it may well be needed for some modulation duties. Okay, so that's what we've got going on tonight. Now, I didn't mention, but almost equal star billing tonight is the Zadar from Xaoc Devices. Now, this is a quad envelope generator, and I've got 4 different envelopes. Now, this thing is bonkers. So what we've got set up, we've got the 4 envelopes coming out and into the 4 inputs of the CVilization. Then the 4 outputs of CVilization are feeding our 4 sound sources. Yeah, as I say, disting 1, hysteria 2, Platts 3, and Dopefer 4. Okay, so very simple kind of setup in a way, but what happens next is pretty bonkers. So what I'm going to do, let's just start this firstly by, I'm just going to create a blank CVilization patch. So I'm going to hold the mode button and I'm going to hit the bottom encoder. When I do that, I'll do that again so you can see. So I hold it, and this actually takes, I've got only 1 preset at the moment that I've created, but you could hold different presets there. But if you hit the bottom one, that's a reset. So it's a kind of pretty neat way of getting you back to a starting position. Okay, now when you're at this top level, what you can do is, sorry, this is the top level. You can mute inputs and outputs just by clicking them. Turn by 1 click. Oh yeah, I didn't mention these encoders are notched, they're stepped. So just one rotation to the right, and they're mutes. Yeah. Oh, it's frozen again. Holy crap. Thank you. I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm assuming sound is a good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. That's really throwing me off my groove. So, okay. So I was talking about you can rotate these and you can see 1 click. Okay, all of that was frozen, wasn't it, when I was... Okay. Sorry, everybody. Apologies. It is... That's a really annoying... So I was talking about the visual language of this. You can I'm not sure where you lost the visuals here, but you select like an input, and you can see how much. Well, this is I've put this into default now, so you can see in default each input is routed to its equivalent output. But from selecting one, I could then say I could send some of it into of 1 into 2, a lot of it into 3, and the light intensities there you can see change. Or if I do them to the left, it sends an inverted value, which is always red to indicate that it's an inverted value. Okay, so yeah, okay, assuming you got all of that now. Okay, I have to keep checking the camera's not free. I don't know why it's freezing. I really don't know why it's freezing. So that's a really super simple way. Yeah, and then say 1 click to the right, and then it mutes. You know, yeah, so really cool. So right, I mentioned then I've got my 4 sound sources. I think you heard me saying that then: Disting, Hysteria, Platz, and the Dope across here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it, we're going to send envelopes from Zadar, and I think I'll put Zadar into its default state as well. Okay, yeah, this will make more sense as we go along. Oh, I hope this all works well now. I hope it doesn't freeze, because this is wonderful. Okay, right. All right, I'm going to mute inputs 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4, and just only have input 1 coming on at the moment. Now, let's get all our oscillators droning. Actually, let's have nothing on for now, and let's just turn this up, and we'll just have all our oscillators droning, and then that will be our kind of starting point. And we should have some. Let's bring him up. Ooh. Yep. This is the disting. Let's leave that around there. So I'm just going to get them droning, and then we'll just sort of tune them, and we'll kind of hear each oscillator as it comes in now. Okay, so next one is then Hysteria from Dreadbox. Oh, why no sound from that one? Yellow. Ah, unplugged. Yes, simple. Okay, let's bring up the. Kind of use the pitch quantize. Let's see. So I could find a starting, any note really to start. So I think I'll use it. I'll tune everything maybe from the Hysteria. Okay. Let's just get the tuning on here. Fine tuning. Okay, let's leave that down a bit. Okay. That's Platz. Let's choose them. That'll do. Let's bring that down. Sorry, it's horrible to listen to. Let's just have it quieter. Okay, so there we go. So that we're getting all our kind of oscillators somehow working together in some form. Great. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to send Zadar. I'm going to make Zadar run. If I set it to infinite, then it essentially turns this into an LFO, I suppose. But it's just cycling a triangle. Okay. Now let's slow that down a little bit. Now, what CVilization is doing is acting as a CV mixer. It's going to send the CV signal out of Zadar to all of the different oscillators. So let's do that now. I'm going to unmute the input now from channel 1, and I'm going to. So let's drop the strength down to this now, so we can see how that pitch is following. And that makes sense. Now, what I'm going to do now from CVilization now is I'm going to put pitch quantizing on. So, long press on the left, and it'll take me into the configuration window. So, and then I'm going to pick. There we go. Straight away, you can hear now. That's quantized to a with quantizing. Let's turn the strength down so it doesn't go quite up so far. Okay. Now, if I notch it again, we get a major scale. And once we're into the scales, all the scales can be defined. There is a way to define them. I'm not sure if we'll do that tonight, but green is going into a minor. Now, so what I'll do is I'll just set all of them. I'll set all of them to have this minor pitch quantize. Oh, I've frozen again, have I? Holy. I don't know what's happening. Ah, thanks, chatties. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Apologies for this. I do not know what's going on. Right, so you can see I've put it now. This is what I was doing, so I was explaining it there. From the main window, long press and hold it, flashing, and then I can set the top one. Blue is pitch quantize, so then I've got different color scales, so I can set the different outputs to have different pitch quantizations. And remember, let's just put it back to green. I'll set them all to green. It's like a minor scale. How can I tell when I'm gonna have to just keep checking my view. Okay, so now let's go back to our mixer. So let's bring, right, so the strength now, if I turn this down until it's zeroed, and it'll flash right, it's flashed now, indicating that it's essentially off, and we can hear that there's no pitch effect at all now from here. So if I just do a single click, yeah, there we go. So a single click's very weak, so it has to get all the way virtually to the top. This is 2 clicks now. And another click. So you can hear it's all being pitch quantized. Now, I'm just going to turn off these other channels for now. And I'm going to do this. I'll introduce each oscillator slowly. Checking. I'm still alive. Camera's still working. Again, huge apologies for all of that. Right. Now, let's turn up the second oscillator. You can hear it's static at the moment. I'll just... So that's got the same amount of strength going on to... Let's use the tuning. I will get it. Okay. Now, if I turn up a couple more clicks, it's going to be... Let's do it a few more. So you can see there's a kind of music, this kind of interesting musicality that comes about. So let's bring in our third oscillator. I'm going to bring in our effects now because it's just going to make it sound like heck of a lot more pleasing to listen to. So this is with a Z-verb reverb. Bringing in the last one now. Oh, hang on, what's going on? Let's bring those effects down a little bit. Okay. So you can see what's happening, I think. We've got that simple rising of pitch and then falling. But I can warp this shape, for instance. See? Or change this shape to a whole array of interesting shapes. Now this one looks kind of crazy, but if we made it really long, I can reverse it as well. Let's make it longer. Reverse it. 42 seconds now to complete a whole cycle of this. So we're kind of creating I have no idea what's going on, everyone. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. So we can see our shapes now. And then I can optionally just sort of change the rate of it. Let's bring in our last oscillator as well. Did I set the pitch quantize on this? Whoa. So here they go. So let's change some of their rates. Now, jump back to this top pane. Mute. And it, you know, as I say, I can make the Zadar really like 1800 seconds. So it's going to be super slow now. Look, it's going to start going down a little dip eventually. I wonder how long that'll take. Okay. Here it goes, sorry. Maybe that's a bit crazy long. Let's shorten it a bit. This is 58 seconds. Let's bring our effects back in. Yeah, effects make it. There's like some kind of little peak going on. Okay, so now what I'll do now is I'm going to mute that one, and I'm going to go to my B channel on the Zadar. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the B channel infinitely loop. In fact, whilst I'm here, I'm going to set C and D looping as well infinitely. Why not? Okay, let's jump back to the screen. So B is sending that triangle right now. So we'll use that initially just to kind of get everything working. Unmute B. Now the strength of B. Let's have a look. I At the moment, only two. Well, only two. So I'm going to... So if by dropping the voltage level down, we'll reduce just how much note range happens. Now, I've been using positive values only, but if I if I turn them, it'll send inverted values, which will play lower notes. Slow this pattern down a bit. Now you've also I can warp the shape, but I can also change the response, which can kind of essentially you can see the kind of dips and troughs getting adjusted. So all of this has musical effects. You know, obviously being able to change this shape as the notes are going to start to climb now. Oh no, they're going to descend. They're going to, as it's going up on here, because I've got them negative here, notes are going to go down as it goes as it moves up, it takes the notes down. Let's change the direction of some. Have some go up and have some go down. Now, jump back to this. 2 is playing. Look, if I then turn on 1, it'll actually sum all of that together. And we've got both influencing each other. Mute. Oh, he's gone again. I might give up, you know. I might give up if it's just going to keep doing that. Okay. Ooh. I think I've lost some of my tuning now. See, I was muting inputs, but I could just mute the outputs as well, and then they'll just drone. So that'll give me a chance to tune some of them. Yuck. Let's get a bit more tuned up now. Turn the outputs back on. This is mad. I think this is madness. Reverse. Speed it up. Whoa. That was turning on. Right. Let me set up C. It's cycling. I'm going to set C to be... Let's just make C like a really super slow climb. So it's just a climb. Okay. Let's see if that's gonna. Turn the strength of it down so it's just not so piercing. Now why? Oh, hang on. Let's have a look. Ah. I guess then I was only... Up they go, up they go. Down they go. Okay, ugh. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Haha! Don't be such a yar switch. Whoa. So anyway, let's just jump back out of this one. Mute that. Set one of the more melodic ones off. If you can call it melodic, hang on. Let's tame this. Let's see if we can make it sound nicer. Yeah, let's just get this. Now, what I'll do now is on C, which is currently muted, I'm going to make it strength nothing, and I'm going to unmute it, and now I'm going to start increasing its strength. So it should have the effect of just pushing everything, so it's... Bring some of the other ones in as well. Muted them. I'll just turn off the drive for a moment. I'll just let the affected sound work for a moment. Okay. Let's turn on that climb. I'm going to see how much voltage, just the merest amount of voltage to kind of lift it up. Make it so, you know, adjusting how long this is. Oh, look at this now. And it'll just jump down. Yeah. This up a bit now. Isn't this cool? I've spent the weekend doing this. So you can see this civilization is pretty awesome. Now I'm just going to reduce the amount it's making things climb. fact, I'm going to make some go so this is going to start to descend. So we're going to be 2 are going up, 2 are going down. How interesting that is. Now I'll see what happens if I change the let's change the scale. Long press, go into the scales. So I've just changed the scale to the next scale, so it will start to go somewhere different now. Oh look. Yeah. Whoa. I'm gonna take it major then. Let's see if we can make this sound like really beautiful and harmonious now. Haha. Let's see. I'm gonna speed up the climb and the descent. We're all gonna start climbing now. I'm increasing the strength. I'm going to randomly pick a different envelope shape. Fine. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. I'm really interested in this. It's such a different way of generating musical phrases. It's so different from anything I've used before that there's this kind of musicality. Now, what I'll try and do now, though, is something which is I can trigger the CVilization's sample and hold generator, which in turn will create CV values out. If I... Oh, let's just mute this for the moment. And relax. Let's just have a little... Right, okay, sorry, I just wanted a little moment there. What I'm going to do now is, on CVilization, is I'm going to set its clock to the Waldorf's gate. and you can use the bus gate, so it can actually get the gate internally from the bus. And the way we do that is from this top page. I'm going to hold to get into our configuration page. Blue was set in pitches. Yellow is now set in where each of the 4 channels gets its gate from. Now, if I go through these different settings, you know, kind of CVA input, CVB input, but if I speed along here until it gets to this kind of cyan color here, that means it's getting its gate from the keyboard. And if I press the keyboard, you can see it's flashing. So that means that every press will create a new sample to then of the sample and hold generator to hold that CV value. And let's see what that does. This is kind of cool. I think it's really cool. Okay, so let's get our dry sound up first. I'll just use this buzzier sound here off the dread box, and let's unmute the first CV signal and send some of that to the dread box. Let's see. I should be getting hang on, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, okay. So coming out of 2. I'm just going to set an arpeggiator running off the KB37. So yeah. So the speed now. Oh, it's probably easier actually, I think, if I do this to demonstrate this. I think if I do this with just let's just do it with just a slow rising. Let's do it with D instead. Mute that one. Go to D. Let's make D really long. Let's say maybe set it to, yeah, let's set it to about 30 seconds to complete a whole rising thing. Now, okay, D. Let's now send some of D out to. Okay, oops. What we're doing. The strength is good. More strength to D. I think it's easier actually. I'll get more things happening. Let's get more things happening. Gotta bring the whoa! Let's bring the effects back in. Yes. Here we go. That's amazing, isn't it? They're all going up at different rates. It's going to max all of them out and see what they do. I'll clamp the Zadar at 5 volts. Yeah. And I can reverse it. Of course, all of the parameters, you've got an assignable CV input on Zadar, so we could be sending in a modulator to change the, you know, to maybe flip a square wave running slow, to change the direction. This is quite nice. Just. This little exploratory little twizzles. So it's a really, so I don't know how much my hand is covering the action there. Yeah. Right. So let's see what we can do with this now. See, I've got control of the whole shebang really from the master of the KB37. It's quite mad, isn't it? So I mentioned earlier, I'm only going to do mode 1 on tonight's show, just because this on Civilization I'm talking about, the 4 different modes, because it's just bonkers. How much is Zadar and how much of it is the UE? Well, the Zadar is giving voltage, but the Civilization is the thing that's turning it into music. And I think it's music. Might not be particularly great music. That's bringing in. Whoa. That's getting piercing. It's like mysterious, and let's change the key. Oops, did that wrong. Let's see where this takes us now. Channel A, let's make it slower. Really slow drone change now. Weaker as well. Slight pitch going down. It'll start to climb again. Ascend some backwards again. So they go down in the opposite direction. Wow, I mean, it's a really strange way of composing, but you really could. Let's see now. I found some interesting. Shapes here on Zadar. Sorry, my hands keep getting in the way. Hey, we haven't frozen for a while. Maybe that's sorted now. So there's there's hundreds of these shapes in Zadar, and all of them are like this one, for instance. Let's try this one. Let's shorten it so it'll move through it fast. Let's bring this. I'll just take the effect level down a little bit. We can hear. I just reduce those the troughs. You know, oops. Warp it so I can. So it's really affecting the melodic pattern, and again the level. There's two kind of ways of controlling the lowest to the highest note, I suppose, by choosing how much CV is being sent out from Civilization. Let's just clean up this a bit. Yeah. Let's have this other one I've just brought in going in the other direction. We'll just hear just two of them. And how they interact. Take it. distortion there. I can try a different reverb for a different flavour. Okay. Let's try changing that scale again. I'll just take it to the minor scale, just so I know what I'm doing, kind of thing. Okay. So just let it go around a few times to acclimatise. Pitching is weird, isn't it? This is a combination now of Platts and Hysteria. It's massive Platt sounding, isn't it? That. Okay. So now I'm increasing time onto that. So we're hearing that sort of pattern. Now we've got that going on. Here's another cool feature. We've got things called static offsets. So long press on the right hand side will take us to our other page of configs. Now the top one, this will choose like octaves. So we're working with channels 2 and 3 at the moment. Now, this is my favourite feature, I think, of this. If I go into the second one here, I can transpose in key. So you get these... So I'm moving this pitch kind of shape up and down in musical kind of steps within the scale. Reverse the tune now. And we can actually initiate a slew or glide. So if I was to go back to this top page, go into the page on the left, there's 2 pages of options here. Bottom one, so I'm on page 2. This green control now controls the amount of slew out of each output. So let's just increase that. And I'd probably... I'd need to unquantize the hysteria for that to work. But let's make the Platts slew. Bit too much. It's a funny little tune, isn't it? Let's bring in our other oscillator. Let's bring in our 4th one now. Let's see if we can make this one work now. Wow. So trying to find the tuning. Let's drop it down. Let's make it not powerful. We were getting pitch coming off the resonance up then. So I can now, I'm playing on the keyboard. So the Doepfer is getting its voltage from two different places, from the keyboard. So it's a bit weird music, really. Wow, getting a bit done in by this tune. Let's go somewhere else. And then just like that. Whoa. Oh no. Wow. This is the climb. Yee. Whoa. It's got back. So that was channel D. Okay. So yeah, right, let's come out of this for a moment. So we're just going to have a little, let's just, so CVilization then, as I say, I'm using mode 1 of the 4 modes, and I'm going to come and use the other modes. I should tell you a little bit about the other modes, just, so mode 2 is a sequential switch. So you can create all manner of interesting, random and automated switching. I've not gone into these modes at all because I've been locked into this first one. But I think mode 3 is particular interest. It's called the mucorder. And you've basically got a 4-channel CV step recorder. And you can set it to mutate, and you can make certain tracks mutate other tracks. That sounds like fun. And then the 4th mode is the quadraphonic panner. So this could be super cool. I don't think we can stream in quadraphonic sound on, but I think that could be something really, really useful for having it go into different effects, and you can set up all these auto pans where it'll go between the 4 outputs. So I think there's loads of interesting effecty sort of things, effect sends. So anyway, that's things to look forward to. I need to kind of learn to use them myself first. But yeah, so using just this first mode, this mod matrix, I mentioned earlier, I think if you missed it, I did say that even though we are using it with CV, you could be using it as an audio mixer, but it is essentially a digital module, so it would have to, it would be like a digital mixer, so it would have to kind of go through an A to D and a D to A, but it does that at 96K 24-bit. And in what I've done with it so far, it does sound really great. It doesn't sound overtly digital in any way, but that would be the thing to bear in mind if you were using it as an audio mixer. However, using it as an audio mixer does open up incredible potential. So it's almost like difficult to know which of all of the features you'd want to kind of really fixate on with it, really. Or would you want more? It's not a particularly cheap module. I think it's around €350, but it is, as you'll see, especially in the upcoming episodes, there's such a lot of thought gone into it. I was particularly interested in this because UE make the just absolute top draw music software. That what would translate from that world into a module, and I think that the user interface, I think, is probably an enormous has probably been influenced enormously by their work on GUIs, on the software, because I can get around this like really kind of fast, and I could get around it really fast early on, and I think because the color scheme, and again, if you do refer to the cheat sheet, will certainly help you, but the color scheme is strong and striking and is logical as well. So I think really well done to them in the in carrying out such a kind of interesting visual language that they've kind of done with this thing. I mentioned that these encoders are stepped, and that is a big part of the performance. Like before, when I was doing that thing and I was just using the transpose in within the scale function, just kind of clicking it once and then clicking it back again, gives you like a predictability that you can hear what it does to the melody with one click. So then click it back again, you can start to go, okay, 2 clicks will take the melody there, and then 2 clicks back takes it back to the... Well, let's just do that a little bit more then, just to kind of show that one. Because I think that is a kind of cool feature. So I think for now, we'll just use the plats. And we'll turn off that climb one. Let's have a look. Okay, so we'll go to this A. Let's increase the... And I'm coming out of plats. I'm just getting it back so I feel I've got control of it at the moment. Yeah. Cool. So number 3 is feeding plats. So 1 click. So I'm putting a few more clicks on it to get it. I want it to see it following. Maybe I'll find a little easier melody, a simpler. Let's try this one. So melody will go up, dip down a little bit, go back up, and then go down. Okay, yeah, we can see that sort of doing that thing. What's going on in the background? That's the delay, is it? Okay. So now let's go into the static offsets page again. Here. Choose that encoder. Oops, no, I did that wrong. Static offs. I was on the right setting. So now, 1 click. Two clicks. This would be like 3 clicks. So you can hear, let's speed this melody up a little bit. Okay. So 2 clicks down. 2 clicks up from there. 2 more clicks up from there. I think you see what I mean. Is that like, it's not. I'm not getting the greatest tune off this. Let's just try different. Let's try this one again. That's a nicer musical phrase. Yeah. So I think it's this idea that those steps can be some, kind of performance kind of thing, counting the amount of clicks. Or feeling the clicks, Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna slow things down. So this is the control I've got over the tempo of it. Okay, let's get it. I'm gonna make the dope for go into the bass territory a bit more. Just taking out the effects, stuff a drier bass sounding. Okay, trying to make this work musically. Reverse it. I'm losing the control. Back to the drone. Oh. Okay. Ah, I've lost it. Ah! I've lost it. What is this? Oh, it's got a sourness to it. I'm going to mess all the tuning knobs up. Just take myself into really atonal muck and see what I can fucking... Let's see if we can salvage something. Taking us down the hellhole. Whoa! No! No! We're lost. Ugh. Okay. Thank goodness for reverb. Well, I'm probably going to sign off pretty soon. Hope you've enjoyed this first. This is like my first Civilization session, but definitely going to be returning to this module to look at the other modes. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I mean, it's definitely, it feels like this kind of area of modular kind of I don't know, chaotic, well, not necessarily chaotic, but you know, the generative aspect of things, you know, setting things up so they generate generate a lot of stuff, but you know that you have a fair amount of control over the setting up of it. And you can see in the Zadar, you know, being able to change all of the parameters of that melodic path, if you want to call it that. So I've no idea what's doing anything now. I've totally lost control of it. It's just all moaning and groaning. I can hear sort of like a little piece of music trying to break out. So something quite beautiful is emerging out of here. Yeah. Oh, trying to keep it all sort of in tune. Yeah, okay, but you know, I suppose this is sort of the sort of things I wanted to kind of get to, this semi-random, semi-controlled. Okay, so it's bringing it all down. Well, if you enjoyed this show, please click the like and all that kind of thing. I certainly enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for joining me. Apologies for the freezes earlier and how long it took for me to kind of notice that. I'm embarrassed about it. It really threw me off a little bit, but clearly there was something lurking in the system that cleared off, so we've been good for the second half of the show. I'm going to be back on Wednesday for the Gaz Williams show at 8 PM, if you want to join me for that. And off it goes into the distance. Just a little bit of this. Just as it dies away. Some more Rocket Gold Star coming to the Gaz Williams show in the near future. Yes, if you would like it. I've got so much I'd like to share with you about Rocket Gold Star. That's my long-term band. And there we are. I think that's a nice moment there to kind of come out of that. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, see you soon. Take care. Peace be with you all. Bye-bye.